All right, shalom. Most High Christ bless everybody. I am Brother Raphael to my right,
Brother Doc,
and to my left,
Brother Jacob.
Today's topic is called the Central Park 5 Crafty Counsel. One thing y'all have to understand, brothers and sisters, is the current event that we're talking about today, briefly, is dealing with a point in time in history approximately 30 years ago. When a high-profile case hit New York City. And one thing it was called was the Central Park 5. And the more disturbing thing about it was during our time. I remember when I was a teenager at the time myself. Those guys kind of was in my age group. And when I saw it, it kind of blew my mind because, had these guys, these five, it was, so-called black and so-called Hispanic. That's how I'm letting y'all know the so-called blacks and the so-called Hispanics whose fathers are of Negroid and in descent, we are the biblical Israelites. Simple as that. That's the whole understanding of who we are. Now, the reason why I'm talking about the Central Park 5 is because the sad part about it, brothers and sisters, if anybody saw the Netflix movie, or for people who are too young to even remember, some people aren't even born yet when that happened. What was sad about that, y'all, is it was something that it's the same song. It's the same story. You have a young black male or men accused of raping a so-called white woman. And what happens, America takes it and they run with it. They don't have any evidence because the narrative is we are animals. Okay? As a matter of fact, your president, the so-called Donald Trump, took out an $85,000 ad to call for the execution for some boys. These weren't men, they were boys. Okay, and the sad part about it, we're going to do with the scriptures, we're going to show you how is that righteous, how this righteous is supposed to be righteous judgment, right? You're supposed to be judged. They always tell you in America, you always innocent till proven guilty. They tell us that. It's funny. When we're growing up, we always taught, how it's supposed to be fair. How you're supposed to be judged by your peers, they say. But for some odd reason, we always get the short end of the stick for some reason. And we're going to go to the Bible. We're going to go to the scriptures and show that this is prophecy. This is something that, this stuff that's happening in the news with Iran, with all these racial tensions going on, that's something that's prophecy. And one thing about this, brothers and sisters, this ain't a hate campaign. It's a truth campaign. And I want you to join us in the journey of the scriptures. And what we plan on doing, Lord's will, is we're going to show you some things that you probably haven't been taught by your pastor. Because a lot of times they don't want to go into the thick of things. They're busy. All they want to do is sit there and sing and hold hands with everybody. Like everything is so great. Amen. That's all they want to do. They don't want to go to the real deal. Why our people are in the conditions they're in, and why they constantly keep being treated the way we're being treated, and why. So what we're going to do today, as customary, to the law, to the testimony, the book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20, and the Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10. You have to understand something, brothers and sisters. You have to have the laws coupled with Christ. You can't just say I have laws and no Christ, and you just can't just say I have Christ and no laws. They have to be coupled together, the laws in the faith of Christ. Okay?
Deacon Raphael, you said that movie was called How They See Us?
Yes.
On Netflix?
Yes.
Also, there's a movie on Hulu called Bill Street Can Talk. What Deacon Raphael was talking about happened in the 80s. If Bill Street Could Talk, this happened in the 70s. And it was the same thing. This white woman was raped. And they couldn't find the person that did it, so they just blamed it on the black brother. This man spent over 20 years in prison for something he didn't do.
Right.
So it's a reoccurred event.
Same thing with Susan Smith. Some of y'all don't remember Susan Smith back in 1994. What she did was she drowned her children. Claimed that a black man did it, and it was a mad search for black men because she claimed she got carjacked. You see how easy it is for them to believe that? And then here's the thing. When you're wrong, you can admit you're wrong. See, that's the sad part. See, that's why it blows my mind how they want to call us a hate group. They want to call us, we racist, but at the end of the day, we showing y'all history. We showing y'all true accounts that took place, it's still taking place today. Like the prime example in 1990, the Charles Stewart case in Boston. What he did was he messed around and came up with a plan, killed his own wife, shot himself, and blamed the black man. And said the black man carjacked him for some odd reason, kill his wife now and their unborn child, and then shoot him, and he survives. And I'm gonna tell you now, and I was living up there. I was up there at that time, and I can remember what they did in Roxbury, the black part of Boston at that time. What they were doing, the brother name was Bennett. And what they did was every black man that they claimed fit the description that that man said, they terrorized that whole neighborhood. Okay? The cops came in and terrorized all because of a lie. It's showing a lie. The man lied and said a black man did that, and they found out. And what did he do? He checked out. He jumped off a daggone bridge. You see?
Same thing that happened with these athletes. That dude that played for Baylor.
Right.
That white girl say he raped her.
Right.
Destroyed his whole career. He was supposed to go first round.
Exactly.
Man, this dude can't even get a job.
Exactly. All because of a lie. But yet, they look at us and say, oh, well, y'all just pushing God. Listen, we're gonna get to the scriptures. Like I said, we're gonna get to the point. Is it righteous judgment or unrighteous judgment? So we have to deal with current topics right now. So let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20. And let's go to the book of the Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20.
Go ahead.
To the law.
The Bible says to the law. As we do know, if you don't know, you have to understand laws from Genesis always to the Revelation. Go ahead, brother.
And to the testimony.
And to the testimony, like I just said, the laws have to be coupled with Christ. Let's go to the Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10, and then we'll go back to Isaiah 8 and 20.
The book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 10.
Go ahead.
And I fell at his feet to worship him.
All right.
And he said unto me, see thou, do it not. I am thy fellow servant.
Okay.
And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus.
The testimony of Christ. The testimony of the Son of the Most High, the King of Kings. We have the testimony of Christ coupled with the law. Coupled with the law. Go ahead.
Worship God.
Worship the Most High power. There's no other gods above him. That's what we call him, the Most High. Go ahead, brother.
For the testimony of Jesus.
The testimony of the Messiah, the Christ. Go ahead.
Is the spirit of prophecy.
It's the spirit of prophecy because guess what? If you don't have the spirit of Christ on you, brothers and sisters, you will not understand this Bible in its entirety. You will be lost. Okay, you have to have the spirit of Christ on you to understand the Bible. It must be read precept, must be upon precept, line upon line to gain understanding. That's why we're going to jump from book to book, because we have to gain understanding what the Bible is talking about. Now, go back to the book of Isaiah 8 and 20, and I want Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20.
Go ahead.
To the law and to the testimony.
So the laws, as we just talked about, have to be coupled with Christ. That's why we say to the law and to the testimony of Christ. Go ahead, brother.
If they speak not according to this word,
as it is written, thus saith the Lord God, as it is written. Go ahead.
It is because there is no light in them.
Because you have to understand something. What is the light according to the Bible? It says it is because there is no light in them. What is the light? Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23. Precept must be upon precept. Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp.
See, the commandment is a lamp, because remember something, when you are navigating through darkness, you have to have a light to see through darkness, right? So the law is a lamp, the commandment is a lamp. What does it do? It helps us to navigate through darkness, which is sin. Okay, because I'm gonna give you an example. It's just like saying, okay, if I am a habitual liar, the scripture says, do not bear false witness What does the law does? The law transforms me from being a sinner with the transgression of the law to being what? Back into righteousness. Just that simple. Go ahead, brother.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 23.
Go ahead.
For the commandment is a lamp.
The commandment is a lamp. Go ahead.
And the law is light.
You see how it works? The law is light. So that's why you have to understand something. The law, you have to have the light in you. The laws come with Christ. Okay, you have to have that in you. Go ahead, brother.
And reproofs of instructions are the way of life.
Reproofs of instructions are the way of life. Reproofs of instructions will be a correction, like I just gave you the example. Okay, if I'm in the midst of sin with the transgression of the law, what this law does? It illuminates my mind. It gets me from being in a sinful state to being back into a righteous state by correcting myself, by going over the law and transforming myself through the law. And it's covered with Christ because you have to have the Spirit of Christ on you to be converted. That's what you have to understand. That's how you convert yourself, by doing what? By keeping commandments. See, conversion isn't dipping yourself in some water. See, some of y'all get messed up in that context by thinking, you know what? I'm a new creature. Well, if you're a new creature, you're still cursing on your way to church. Then guess what? You're not a true believer.
Going to the church smelling like Newport.
Yes, indeed. Have you really changed? No, because repentance, that's what y'all understand. Repentance is doing what? It's turning away from willful sin. So I just gave you an example. If you're a liar or if you're a person that loves to steal, you have to look at the scripture. Scripture says, thou shalt not steal. So if I steal, it's going to be a judgment behind that. Right. You see? In this man's society, if you get caught stealing, you're going to go to jail. That's the judgment. What you think the Most High going to do? You keep on doing the same thing. See, that's what y'all understand. That's why laws are important on how we carry ourselves, and they have to govern our lives. It's simple as that. Okay, now let's get to the crux of the problem. The Central Park 5. What happened 30 years ago in the court of law? Because they love to scream OJ all day. You know what? The system has to be fixed. You know, I don't know what happened. It's a shame. It's the world will come to an end. The same system has been screwing us for however long. They didn't say it was going to be fixed when Emmett Till got killed. They didn't say it was going to get fixed when this happened. When these men were clearly innocent. No, it ain't about being fixed. You want to know why? Because it's business as usual. That's supposed to happen to us. But as soon as we bring out something about it, it's controversial. You see? Let's look at the scriptures. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. Let's find out who has the power today.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24.
Go ahead.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
You know what the Bible say? So we're not surprised. They're supposed to do this. It's in the hands of the wicked. They're supposed to have unrighteous judgment. They're supposed to do that. So we're not surprised. You think we're surprised? No, we know because we understand prophecy. We understand it's going to all come to an end one day. It's going to all come crashing, burning down. What does it say again, brother?
It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The Bible says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So that's letting you know who is ruling right now. Who's ruling? This man is ruling the justice system, the monetary system. Everything this man does, he hides it. Am I saying it's a hate campaign? No, it's the truth. Who hides their face on the money? It's not our face on the money. So he controls currency. So he controls who does what, who does. You have to have permission to leave this country by way of a passport. I can't just say I want to leave. I better have a passport. You're going to stay gone for so long, as most deaf. Stay long if you want to see what happens. Because remember something, you're not ruling nothing. So money doesn't make you in rulership. See, money and power is two different things, y'all. Money is something that you can use to do what help you buy things and obtain material things and stuff like that. But power is when you have rulership, you control. So what does it say again in Job 9 and 24, brother? Who does this earth belong to?
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24.
Go ahead, brother.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Was that it?
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
The judges are the Israelites. Some of y'all don't know that. How our faces covered, we're in captivity. So we can't see things clearly because we're in captivity. We're supposed to be the true judges because we're supposed to be in righteousness. You see, when the scripture says ye are God, it means ye are judges. So that means when it says ye are judges, we're supposed to have enough fortitude to judge righteously. But because the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, we're in captivity, so we can't judge nothing. How are we going to judge something because we're in captivity? We don't own the judicial system. So when things happen, I don't care how much money you think you got. When this man decided to lay a judgment down on you, guess what? Your butt going away. Okay? Believe that. He called exactly how the nerd called the judicial system, right? They have the scales. The scales with the woman with the blindfold on. Please. Let's find out what the Bible says about an unrighteous judge. You're in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1. And again, we go on to the book of Habakkuk. Okay, because y'all need to understand something about this system, y'all. It's given to the hand of the wicked. So that's why we have to rely on the true judge to judge righteously. See, that's the thing. It's not a problem with judgments. It's only bad if you're not judging righteously. Okay? So let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1, brother.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
A false balance is abomination.
What does the Bible say?
A false balance is abomination.
A false balance is abomination. So that means in these brothers' case, these young men at the time, young boys, they was wrongfully accused of raping a white woman. They didn't have no DNA. They had no DNA evidence to prove that they was even there. But because they coerced those young guys to give a crazy confession with no parent or no legal assistance or attorney present, which really is against the law. So you want to break the law to get them to lie to get a conviction. So what does it say again, brother? What does it say?
The book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
A false balance is abomination to the Lord.
A false balance is an abomination to the Lord. So that's what the Lord hates unrighteous judgment. So then I just made this statement about Donald Trump. What he did was he created the atmosphere of hate for these boys by saying you should hate them. So here's the sad part. Keep reading. What does it say again?
A false balance is abomination to the Lord.
Go ahead.
But a just weight.
A just weight is what?
Is his delight.
The Most High delights in that. Because if those guys were guilty, guess what? They deserve what they did. But they weren't, and they didn't do it righteously. They already had their mind made up those guys were guilty. They didn't have no evidence to say these guys were doing what they were doing. And the sad part about it, brothers and sisters, is here's the thing. When they found out that they was wrong, did they want to apologize and be righteous in that? Because here's the thing. If I'm wrong, I should fess up and say, you know what? Evidence proves that I was wrong. I destroyed these boys' lives. They took their childhood from them. And then he gonna have to say, oh, that was wrong for him to get money. Money can't buy back time. You see what I'm saying? See, what they need to do to some of these people is put them in behind the bars and let them see how it feels. When you know you ain't did something and somebody put you behind bars because of circumstances, put you behind bars, let you see how it feels, and then better yet, put a price tag on your head and say, you know what, I want to put you to death. Because if it was up to him, they would have hung those boys. You see? They have no regard for the old or the young. All they see is black. They see that's all they see. They don't give a damn if you're young or if you old. And you think we making this up? I don't think so. Okay? Believe that. And what did you say again?
The book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
A false balance is abomination to the
The
Lord,
Most High hates it.
but a just weight is his delight.
A just weight. So when you just in your judgments, that's his delight. But here's the thing. But here's what Habakkuk had to see. In the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 1, and read all the way to 4.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 1. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see.
Now Habakkuk is a prophet, is a burden, is from the Lord, is what what Habakkuk did see. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 2. O Lord.
Oh Lord. Don't we say that all the time? Oh Lord, here we go again. Here we go. That's how you know this is our book. Oh Lord, don't we say that a lot? You better believe we do, especially when we know things about to pop off. We know when you go to court, we already know what time it is. You better believe the deck already stacked up against you. We're going to see. Go ahead and read.
O Lord,
Uh-huh.
how long shall I cry?
How long should we cry? Every time we turn around, how you think those boys' families felt knowing they're going to jail? They didn't just put these boys in detention, so they put these boys in prison. You 15, 16 years old, you were some hardened criminals knowing doggone well you ain't did nothing. How you think that make those kids feel, man? That took their innocence away. Then they're gonna say, oh, they did other stuff, but that ain't what they was going to jail for. You see, that's the sad part. Instead of you admitting you were wrong, you will say, oh, they were already doing stuff anyway. Come on, man. That's foolishness. Go ahead, brother.
And thou wilt not hear.
Thou wilt not hear. Go ahead.
I even cry out unto thee of violence.
Of what?
Of violence.
Of violence, because that's what's been going on with our people. We've been subjected to violence, whether it's our own doing, because yes, it is black on black crime and so forth, and that's a part of the curses. Okay, but at the end of the day, a lot of violence comes from other nations. Believe that. Go ahead.
And thou wilt not save.
Go ahead.
Why dost thou show me iniquity?
How you show me sin? Because that's a sin to know that somebody ain't do something and then put them in jail anyway. That's a sin because what you're doing, you intentionally trying to destroy their lives. You knew what you were doing. You didn't care. You see? And they still don't care to this day because in their minds, they still are right. They asked Trump, okay, well, you're going to apologize because you see those guys who really do it. Oh, well, you know what? They admitted to doing it. Excuse me? The DNA showed they wasn't even there. Then the prosecutor, she ain't even want to apologize either. You see, even when they wrong, they still can't admit. Even when you wrong, when you can't be righteous, even when you wrong, that's why the Most High God got to destroy this place. Believe that, because that is corruption. And when you start being corrupt, the Most High hates that. Okay, go ahead, brother.
For spoiling and violence are before me.
Spoiling and violence is before me because every time you turn around, it's always something. The cops shoot you down, you're unarmed, they figure out a way to get them off. But what happens? They get mad when a man, here's the sad part. You're doing a silent protest to protest unrighteous judgments, they call you wicked. Ain't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Here you try to exercise your so-called right to protest silently. They want to say you wicked. But yet they can keep on unrighteous judgment, unrighteous judgment, unrighteous judgment. And nothing gets done. But we have a true judge to go judge everybody in that day. And everybody getting judged that day. The just and the unjust. See, what y'all don't know, oh yeah, laugh now and cry later, because when it's time, when Christ comes back, every spirit gonna get up from the grave. Some to everlasting life and some to everlasting contempt. Believe that. That day coming. So you can just go ahead and keep on being unrighteous all you want, play your parts. Keep playing your parts. Go ahead, brother.
And there are that raise up strife and contention.
Contention, strife and contention. You always hear us always contending. We need reform. We need reform. No, we need reform in the scriptures. That's going to reform us as the true people of the book. See, that's what we keep trying to tell brothers and sisters. Come back to keeping the laws of Christ, So you want to be a part of this man's system. See, read first. Don't wait to go to jail and want to pick up a book and start reading. That's why people start doing it. They get caught up, go to prison. All of a sudden now you want to be a doggone scholar now. What you about to,
and then they pick up the wrong book.
pick up the wrong book. Now you want to be a Muslim. Because you want to get protection in jail.
Right.
That's all you really want to do. You see? That's the sad part. But I'm not listening, y'all. Let's just be honest. We all was a part at it one time. Because a lot of our people don't know no better. But what we're going to do, we're going to shed some light on some stuff, on some history. Because some of y'all seem to think that the so-called white man's out Esau. That's scary. Because what we're going to do, we're going to go through the lineage. We're going to do the lineage. We're going to deal with history and show. Because, see, some of y'all think it's about hate. It ain't about hate. It's the truth. So we're going to deal with it. We're going to deal with the scriptures, deal with history, deal with scholarship to show y'all who this man really is. But go ahead, brother, finish up.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 4.
Go ahead.
Therefore, the law is slack.
The law is slack because every time we need justice, for some odd reason, we can't find it. For some odd reason, the law is slacked on us. But for some reason, they always get justice, though. I want justice. Right? You get that, right? Something happened to them, oh man, they go hard. We're going to figure out, we're going to come to the bottom of this. He's a menace to society. But as soon as it happened to us, oh, well, you know, for some odd reason, we just couldn't figure out what happened. Lack of evidence. For some reason, we don't have enough evidence to prove the case. Therefore, it's unsolved. This code is unsolved. Okay. I tell you who will solve the crime. Believe that. In that day, go ahead. What did it say?
Therefore, the law is slack.
The law is slack. Go ahead.
And judgment doth never go forth.
Judgment doth never go forth. What else?
For the wicked doth compass about the righteous.
The wicked will always compass about the righteous. Because every time you try to do something right, there's the wicked go right there to accuse you. There they go. No, we're showing the scriptures for as written. Go ahead. What else?
Therefore, wrong judgment proceedeth.
Wrong judgment proceedeth, just like what happened to those guys. Those guys are still affected by that today. You think the money they got gonna change the time they lost? Money ain't always money is not always the answer. You understand? You can start with apologize by saying I was wrong. Not saying it's gonna change anything, but at the end of the day, admit that you're wrong. But they can't do that because it's pride. This man got high-level pride on him. So therefore, the pride has deceived him. And we do know what's happened to the proud, don't we? We'll go to the scriptures. So I just want to bring that point. Give me the book of Psalms. Was that it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Give me the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
You hear what the Bible says? Give me Genesis 27. He said, though, what does he say?
Keep not thy silence, O God.
He says, keep not thy silence, O God. Go ahead.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still.
Lord, please move on this. Don't be still, O God. Okay? Don't hold thy peace, O God. Go ahead.
And hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. Verse 2.
Right.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
The enemies make a tumult. You know what the tumult? Look at what they're doing today. They're making a tumult today. A lot of them are trying to say, oh, they're not the real Israelites. They're just making this stuff up. The enemies are making a tumult. Right? Go ahead, brother.
And they that hate thee.
I thought they that love thee.
And they that hate thee.
You sure they love?
And they that hate thee.
They that hate thee, read on.
Have lifted up the head.
Lifted up the head and what? In pride. Because they look at it like this. Look at these niggas. Look at these spits. Look at them. They lift up their head in pride. That's what they do. Read.
They have taken crafty counsel.
What type of counsel?
They have taken crafty counsel.
Reason why I said crafty counsel because it's very thought out. It's planned. You think when these people deal with us, they deal with us on a very, very crafty level. They know they study us. They watch how our behavior patterns. Why do you think they're able to sell to us certain things to our people in certain regional areas? Because they know wherever we are, they know what we like. So it's a plan to do what? It's Crafty start out. So what we do? We keep their history from them.
Yeah.
We keep them believing there's something that they're not. We keep them fighting against each other. See, that's Crafty. That's very well thought out. So what they do, they sit these board meetings and watch. They take very account. What we're going to do, let Jay-Z become the first billionaire rapper.
Yeah.
Let give them hope. Let them think, yes, you could be a dope dealer on one end, but then sell some, then become an entrepreneur on another end. Oh, you know what? You could be just like Cardi B. Shake your behind and be a whore, and you know what? Then get you a Grammy. That's what we'll do. We'll show, we'll project to America. That's how they can be. That's Crafty Counsel, brothers and sisters. They use these people to do what? To keep you and I in the midst of sin. And what do? We fall for it. Yeah. Oh yeah, they made it. Oh man, look at that. They made it.
Like,
Yeah.
Like kind of how like right now,
Uh-huh.
with all the wars and stuff that's going on in the world,
Uh-huh.
only thing all people talk about is reparations.
Exactly.
And actually, if the white man gave us reparations, he might win because all we're gonna do is rush to get the money right back to him.
Exactly. Exactly. He gonna take tax. Matter of fact, he gonna tax you on it anyway.
Newport's gonna be $30 a card.
Right. He gonna tax you on it anyway. So you're gonna give it right back to him. Because see, our mentality is never gonna ever change till we change our mentality, brothers and sisters. Okay? That's why I have to change about our mentality about ourselves.
Right.
If we don't get ourselves in order, how the hell are we gonna hold hands with everybody else? We can't even hold hands with each other. That's what we keep trying to tell everybody. You can play all this inclusion stuff all you want. But how are we gonna get ourselves? How can we hold hands with everybody when we can't even get ourselves in order? That's why the commandments in Christ gets us in order. You see, that's why we keep trying to tell these crazy, simple pastors, you need laws to do what? To order yourself in life. Because you have no laws, you have no order. It's just simple as that. You see, that's what they'll never understand. You see, that's what they'll never understand. So what else? So keep reading, brother.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel.
It's crafty, very well thought out. Go ahead.
Against thy people.
Against you, Israel. They're still doing it today. It's very crafty. It's thought out. Okay? That's what they're doing. They think. See, we don't think. We just react. We don't sit back and use our brains. We just want to just go out and react. It's very thought out, y'all. It's more spiritual than you could ever believe. Read.
And have consulted against thy hidden ones.
The hidden ones are the children of Israel. We are the hidden ones. Why? Because no one knows the Israel. Our identity is hidden. That's the most devastating part about it, y'all, about this captivity. We don't know who we are. We think we other people other than the children of Israel. They're consulted together against our hidden ones. Hidden ones. Read on, brother.
Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
You see that? Let's come. Cut them off from being a nation. Go ahead.
That the name of Israel.
The name of who?
Of Israel. May be no more in remembrance.
So now you ain't the children of Israel no more. Now you African American. Now you West Indian now. Now you Haitian now. Now you Mexican now. That's Crafty Counsel, cut you off in a nation. That's very well thought out. But let's find out who's the ringleader though. Go ahead.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one
consent. They all come together. You think about they have the United Nations, right? Show me when any Israelites are on that panel. I'll wait.
See no Tyrone up there.
You ain't gonna see Tyrone up there. You ain't gonna see Ray Ray up there, are you? You ain't gonna see that up in the United Nations. You ain't gonna see that. Go ahead.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
One consent, which means they all on one accord. All it means when it says one consent, it means they're all on one accord, which means they're all together in this. Crafty counsel, read.
They are confederate against thee.
Oh, confederate. Don't that sound familiar? Confederate, confederacy, right? That should show y'all something. Read.
Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom.
Stop right there. Tabernacles of who?
Of Edom.
My goodness. Why did they start off with him? Why did they start off with him? Go ahead, Jake.
My guess would be the earth is giving it to the wicked.
Right. Because he's ruling everything. So that man controls everything. So it starts off with him. I just want him. That's all I want. That's all I want. This ain't personal, it's biblical. Right. Because the Bible says the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. And we have some people who don't believe that he's the so-called white man. They think we're just making this up. There y'all go again. Okay.
True definition of ring.
Let's keep it biblical. Don't take it personal. Give me the book of Genesis. Let's go back to the beginning of nations. Because Genesis really is the beginning of nations, y'all. So now we're gonna find out through the blessings, through the lineage, who this man is. Because some of y'all think we just, y'all just push it, hey, black and white. No, it ain't about that. That's how you. I'm gonna tell y'all trace Esau. I'm gonna show y'all something. You trace this man through his wars. He has a bloody trail. This man is a warlord. We'll find out in a few minutes. He's a warlord. You trace him through his wars, and you trace him through his lineage. That's how you trace him. Simple as that. That we're gonna keep it biblical, y'all. Then we're going into some scholarship. What the scholars know. Okay. Now let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 38, and read over to verse 41, brother.
All right. The book of Genesis, chapter 27, and verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father?
Oh, so he always crying. He found out that Jacob got the blessing. So now he cried, you have the one blessing for me, my father? I mean, I'm just telling you the characteristics.
True.
It's the truth. Am I lying?
No, you ain't lying.
Okay, I'm just telling it like it is. He crying, right?
Affirmative action.
Yeah, they go with affirmative action again, but you got nepotism though. It's based on who you know, right? So that's how y'all can talk stuff too now. Let's keep it real. All right, go ahead.
Hast thou but one blessing, my father?
How there but one blessing, my father?
Bless me.
Bless me, Lord. I mean, bless me, my father.
Even me also.
Even me also.
Oh, my father.
So he wants the blessing too. But he hated his birthright though. Because had he loved his birthright, he wouldn't be in his predicament. He hated it. He despised his birthright. That's what the Bible says. We ain't making this up. Go ahead, brother.
And Esau lifted up his voice.
There you go.
And wept.
And crying. Oh, there you go. Crying.
Well, you know what this reminds me of?
What's with it, brother?
You show them in the scriptures that the Bible is written only for the Israelites.
Right.
They do the same thing. Well, what about us?
Right.
You preaching hate. You're not including us.
Right.
It's exactly what they're doing.
It's not us not including you. It's what the Bible say. See, that's what they don't understand. They think we didn't make this up, y'all. This was written thousands of years before us. Okay? We just messengers. That's all we are.
We can't change a single thing.
We can't change nothing.
Everything that is written has to come to pass.
Exactly. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 39. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him,
right.
Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
Don't you see it today? This man had the best land. He had the best waterfront properties. Every time they do they show all the nice homes, Zillow, lifestyles of rich and famous. They always have the best. They had the fatness of the earth. That's that man. That man had the fatness of the earth. That's one of his blessings, right? That's how you know that's him. Okay? On a large scale, listen, y'all. On a large scale, that's who this man. Mostly, this man lives in the fatness of the earth. You may find a couple of poor ones that living bad, but that must have been real bad, because how can you be poor in your own kingdom 2 times? You see? So that's showing you something. So it says what again, brother?
Thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
The best. He got the best. The fatness of the earth. Go ahead.
And of the dew of heaven from above.
And the dew, so his government's gonna flourish. If you notice, his monetary system flourishing. Everything this man touched turns to gold, don't it? He can't do no wrong. To the point where we want to be like him. Ain't that something? Everybody want to be like him. It's because of this. In the beginning, go ahead, brother.
Verse 40.
Right.
And by the sword shalt thou live.
And listen, let not just say chasing by wars. This man, he don't just ask for something, he takes what he wants. Listen, you don't believe me? Do your research. You think we making this up? Whenever Esau wants something, he, like what did Trump say the other day? He said he ready to go to war. Because he knows he has a war machine. Because of this. Go ahead. He said by the sword, what did it say about the sword?
And by the sword shalt thou live.
He's living like that. Because he has a military might. That's what he was granted back then. Go ahead.
And shall serve thy brother.
Oh, he's gonna serve the brother. He's gonna serve his brother eventually. The elder gonna serve the younger. It's coming. They don't want to hear that, but it's coming.
And it shall come to pass.
It hadn't happened yet. It shall come to pass. Yeah.
When thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off of thy neck.
That happened. That's why we're in captivity. Because that yoke was broken, so therefore we're serving him now. Because we were disobedient in the commandments. That's what we keep trying to tell y'all. We're not ruling nothing. So that's when he broke the yoke. So therefore he has dominion over us. Go ahead.
They broke that yoke and they escaped.
Exactly.
Fleeing in different directions. And coming back with different names.
Exactly. Like the Franks.
Verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob.
He what?
Esau hated Jacob.
He still hates us. What you think? Things have changed? He's showing how he hates you. Smile at you 1 minute, put you behind the devil another minute. Yeah, that's who he is. Go ahead.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
He still got that mentality today.
Yep. And we went right to his children.
Right to his children. Believe that, brothers and sisters. So, it's in the hate campaign, it's a truth campaign.
Could you read that one more time?
The book of Genesis, chapter 27, and verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him.
So because something that you was given, your God-given birthright, something that no one else on this earth has, another nation hates you. Read.
And Esau said in his heart.
He said in his mind. You ever notice how sometimes they look at you with that fake smile, that crooked smile? He said in his mind. He's not going to outwardly show it sometimes, but he got it in his mind. Read.
The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
And now you see that we get gunned down in the streets. Oh, I fear for my life. Sir, this lady pregnant. You shot her 13 times.
Yep. And you know something else too, y'all? They still lynching brothers today. They don't, it's funny because they don't never show it on the major news anymore. But they just figure, I mean, they still doing that and they still doing it to brothers. So that spirit is still alive and kicking. So don't keep thinking because you're in 2019, things have changed. No, it hasn't. That hatred is still there. Believe that. And see, they just know how to hide it more. Some of them don't even hide it because Trump makes sure of that. he makes sure that they don't hide that. You see, now they're getting more bold and they're showing you that's what it comes back from the beginning. So it ain't nothing new, y'all. Don't get scared about it because at the end of the day, it has to happen. it's a hatred that runs deep, and it's going to keep running deep, and you can keep masking it and masking it all you want. We know what the deal is. Okay, that's just keep it real. All right. Now, was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Now I want to go to Genesis chapter 36. I want you to go to verse 8. Like didn't I promise you we're going to lineage? You must have thought we was playing. We're going to lineage. See, we're going to let the Bible speak. See, we're not going to do all that rhetoric, all that talking. We're going right to the scriptures. Then we're going to some scholarship, Jake. Right? Now let's go to it, brother.
All right, the book.
They want it. They want it. Y'all in the spirit.
You can grab it, Jake.
You want it? When y'all.
The book of Genesis, chapter 36, and verse 8.
15.
Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir.
Mount Seir. So Esau, that was his heritage. Mount Seir, that was his land. It was given to him. Mount Seir. If you look at Mount Seir, look at Wall Street, it's the same exact architecture. That's how you know that's how you're able to find out who this man is. Huh? Exactly. Say it loud, brother. Petra.
Look just like the White House.
Look just like the White House, on it.
Mm-hmm.
Same structure, same architecture. What did it say again, Jay?
The book of Genesis, chapter 36, and verse 8.
Go ahead.
Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir.
Mount Seir. Go ahead, brother.
Esau is Edom.
Is who?
Edom.
What does Edom mean?
Red.
Red. That's another characteristic. You can't get around that. You see? Listen, we just telling you what the Bible's saying. If you mad at, listen, you mad at the Most High.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And these are the generations of Esau,
Uh-huh.
the father of the Edomites.
Of the Edomites. So he's the progenitor of the Edomites. Esau means wasted away as he, and Edom means red. Okay.
In Mount Seir.
And Mount Seir. Okay. Go ahead, brother.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay, verse 10. These are the names of Esau's sons.
Mm-hmm.
Eliphaz,
Mm-hmm.
the son of Adah, the wife of Esau.
Uh-huh.
Reuel, the son of Bashimah,
Uh-huh.
the wife of Esau.
So Esau had two wives, didn't he? So he pushing that multiple wife doctrine too. So guess who y'all following, brothers? Y'all will follow that. Y'all following him. He got two wives, don't he?
That was before Jacob.
That before who?
Before Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob didn't even have multiple wives yet. You see? Go ahead.
And the sons of Eliphaz
Uh-huh.
were Timon.
Timon would be the Germans today. That's the warrior sect of Esau. Timon.
Great.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the warrior. So see, that's how y'all can find out who he is. You don't believe me? Do your research. Go ahead.
Omar,
Mm-hmm.
Zepho,
Uh-huh.
and Gatan.
Jump into verse 12. I want 12.
Okay. And Kenaz. Verse 12. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son.
Mm.
And she bare to Eliphaz Amalek.
That's all I want. Keep him in mind. That came through who again? It came through Esau. Amalek came through Esau, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Amalek is his grandson.
Amalek is his grandson. Okay. Hold that thought. Go to 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 1 and 2, and jump to verse 20. And I want Esther, chapter 3, verse 1.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Samuel also said unto Saul,
Uh-huh.
the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people,
Uh-huh.
over Israel,
Over who?
over Israel.
Go ahead, brother.
Now therefore,
Mhm.
hearken thou unto the voice of the word of the Lord.
Of the Lord was the instruction.
Verse 2.
Uh-huh.
Thus said the Lord of hosts,
Uh-huh.
I remember that which Amalek did to Israel.
Oh, who did to Israel?
Which Amalek did to
He
Israel.
still ain't changed. That spirit's still on him. We did it, we did to Jacob. Right? The sons of, because Amalek has come through who? He come through Esau. So we established that in Genesis. So now he's still fighting. Because remember, in the prophecy, it said one people They struggle against each other. Okay? Same thing. Right? Would you see something?
Oh, no.
No, go ahead.
How he laid wait for him in the way.
You see? How he lay wait. Same thing. Crafty counsel. Lay in wait. Same mentality. Go ahead.
When he came up from Egypt.
Go ahead. Verse 3.
Verse 3. Now go smite Amalek.
Go do what?
Go smite Amalek.
The Most High God instructed him to do this. He said, go smite Amalek. Go ahead.
And utterly destroy all that they have.
Oh, he ain't said just leave some. Destroy everything. Go ahead.
And spare them not.
Don't spare them. Go ahead.
But slay both man
and
woman.
Let me ask you a question. Didn't they do this to us?
Yeah.
Aren't they still doing it today? They're not sparing our little children. We just proved it with the Central Park 5. They ain't sparing them. They ain't looking at them saying, those are boys. Let's take it easy on them. They don't care. They were feeding our babies and alligators. You think they cared about that? They got a thing called Planned Parenthood. Who do you think that's directed towards? Directed towards us. Compliments of Margaret Sanger. See, these are facts. We ain't just making this stuff up, y'all. Y'all think we just making this stuff up. Keep reading, brother.
And spare them not.
And don't spare them. Go ahead.
But slay both man and woman. Infant and suckling. Ox, sheep, camel, and ass.
Kill everything. You think when Christ comes back, he gonna change that order? Because when he come back, he said slay other. You think we supposed to play around with that? See, right now we can't do that because we have to follow the laws of the land. And what did Paul say? If we're possible, live at peace with all men. So that's why we're not saying go ahead and do something. We don't push violence. We don't do stuff like that. But the Bible says this about what should have happened. But what did Saul do? Oh my goodness, Saul. You know, it's a shame how people just don't pay attention, don't do be self-will. You see, don't be self-will at all. Go to verse 20. Let's find out what happened.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15 and verse 20.
Go ahead.
And Saul said unto Samuel, yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord and have gone the way which the Lord sent me. And I have brought Agag.
Wait a minute. Didn't the Lord say kill everything?
And I have brought Agag.
He brought who? Agag. Go ahead.
The king of Amalek.
Oh, the king of who?
Of Amalek.
Oh, so an Edomite. He's a seed of his father. Because he came through the lineage of Esau. So Agag is an Edomite. Go ahead.
And have utterly destroyed the Amalekites.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, the Amalekites.
Go ahead.
Verse 21. But the people took of the spoil, sheep and oxen, and chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, and sacrificed unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal.
Go ahead.
Verse 22. And Samuel said, have the Lord as great delight in burnt offering and sacrifice as in obeying the voice of the Lord.
He said, look, man, you ain't do everything the Lord told you to do. The Lord don't know delight in your sacrifices. Go ahead.
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
To obey is better than sacrifice. That's what Saul should have did what he was supposed to do. Because we're going to find out, because what Saul didn't do, we're going to find out what wickedness came out of this lineage. Because Saul should have did what he was supposed to do. But we had another wicked joker come on the scene because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. Go ahead.
To obey is better than sacrifice.
Go ahead.
And to hearken is better than the fat of rams.
I want verse 23 at the point.
Verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
Rebellion, when you rebel, when the Most High give you an order, you go against him, that's rebellion. That means you're in the midst of witchcraft. So the Lord gave him a direct order. I want you to kill everything. He said, nah, I'm going to save the best and do sacrifices. Okay, go ahead.
And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry.
That means you're in the midst of sin. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord. He had also rejected thee from being king.
You see what happened? Because the rulership was taken because he was being self-willed. And that's why it had to happen the way it happened.
You remember somebody got destroyed because we looked up the definition of Agag?
Oh yeah. He destroyed himself. He looked it up, and it said king of the Amalekites.
King of the Amalekites, right?
He thought about it.
Okay. Let's find out. Let's keep on going through his lineage. Let's find out who else came through this lineage. Let's go to the book of Esther. Chapter 3, verse 1. And I want the rest of Esther and the Apocrypha. Chapter 16, verse 10. Because we got to deal with something. We're dealing with the lineage, and then we go on to the scholarship after this.
We wouldn't even be talking about Amalek if David was a king.
You better believe that.
Well, what?
They'd have been dead.
They would have been done. David won't play.
Him and Joab?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. Let's go to the book of Esther. Chapter 3, verse 1. And I want the rest of Esther. Okay, 16.
The book of
Whoever got what?
The book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
After these things, the king Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite.
The what?
The Agagite.
So who did he come through?
Agag.
So now it's showing you he's an Edomite. What did it say again?
The book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
After these things, the king Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
So now you're dealing with Haman. So Haman is an Edomite because he's the seed of his father. So remember, Amalekites, he came through Amalekites. So therefore, Agag, it gave him what his lineage was. He's an Agagite. Now we're going to the rest of Esther and the Apocrypha, what they took out. You will never know this if you never read this in the Apocrypha to find out who Haman really is. What they call him, what they going to call him. Then we're going to First Maccabees. Okay? And the Apocrypha. Just take your time, brother.
There we go.
Yeah.
I
want 16 and 10 and read all the way to 14. The rest of Esther, because we realize who Haman is. Now we got to go into the more in depth on what the rest of Esther is calling him.
All right, the book of Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 16 and verse 10. For Haman, a Macedonian.
Whoa, wait a minute. Why they call him a Macedonian now? You want to know why they call him Macedonian? Let's go to Judith. This is why, you know what I want.
It's funny, this is a lineage.
Lineage. Go to Judith. We want chapter 2 and verse 24.
The book of Judith in the Apocrypha, chapter 2 and verse 24. Then he went over Euphrates and went through Mesopotamia and destroyed all the high cities that were upon the river Arbanai till ye come to the sea.
Go ahead, verse 25.
And he took the borders of Cilicia and killed all that resisted him and came to the borders of Japheth, which were toward the south over against Arabia.
So what this showing you is what Esau did, and this is going into when you're dealing with Alexander. That's how we're going to First Maccabees 1 and 1 and going to show you what happened. Greece was originally Japheth's land.
Right.
So what Alexander did was he came in, when he came and smit Darius, we're going to go into that, he took his land and named it after his own land.
Right.
Who does that? Esau does that. He calls himself the Greeks. He calls himself everything because every time he takes something, he takes on a different name. That's how he hides who he is. That's how people don't know who he is. They think, oh, he's a Russian. Oh, he's a French. He's still Esau. He just calls himself different names. This is showing you why. This is showing you right here how he does that. You see, what is that?
That's why he's got us thinking we're African American.
Exactly.
It's got nothing to do with the land.
Nothing.
You're the seed of your father.
Right. So he went in. So what he did was it was Japheth's land. So Greece really. That's why brothers keep thinking the Edomites is they don't think that they think because of Greece they think that that's the so-called white man is Japheth. He's not. It's just that what the white man did was under Alexander, he took the land, and he called himself the Greek.
That's crazy because when you read on the other side of the flood, he
Right.
had 3 sons.
Right.
Esau ain't even came into the earth yet.
Exactly.
How you gonna say you the white man?
Because people want to trying to figure out a way to save them. Let's keep it real. The thing about it is we're showing y'all history that this really happened. But then after we're going to first Maccabees 1 and 1, but we didn't go to that yet. Let's finish it. I just want to prove that point. Go back to Esther 16.
You want me to read verse 26?
Yeah, read verse 26.
He compassed also all the children of Madian and burned up their tabernacles and spoiled their sheepcotes.
That's what he did. He burnt their kingdom down. Okay?
Yeah, he's going around using that sword that was given him.
Right. Because remember, he came in power under Alexander. During the time of the Greeks. That's when he came into power before they got conquered again in 193 AD, if y'all know anything about history. And he came in power and he had a great military. They called Alexander the rough goat. If you go to Daniel, if y'all know anything about history, about the prophecy, they called him the rough goat. Okay? This man was treacherous.
With that notable horn.
With that notable horn. Exactly. Go ahead, brother. Go back to Esther.
The book of Esther, chapter 16 and verse 10.
Go ahead.
For Ammon, a Macedonian.
Now he's calling himself a Macedonian there because why? Because he conquered the land. Now he calls himself a Macedonian. First he was an Agagite. He's still an Agagite, but now he calls himself a Macedonian now. Go ahead.
The son of Ammedatha.
Okay.
Ammedatha.
Exactly. The Agagite. They tell you his lineage. It still ain't changed. Go ahead.
Being indeed a stranger from the
Persian blood. So he was not a Persian. He was a stranger from the Persian blood. Go ahead.
And far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us.
Go ahead.
Had so far forth obtained the favor that we show toward every nation. And that he was called our father and was continually honored of all men. And the next person unto the king. But he, not bearing his great dignity, went about to deprive us of our kingdom and life.
That's what he was trying to do. He had that crafty counsel in him. He ain't changed. Same spirit. Go ahead.
Verse 13.
Having
by manifold and cunning deceit.
See, he still ain't changed. Cunning deceits. This man's sticking that same spirit on him. Go ahead.
Sought of us the destruction, as well of Mordecai's, who saved our life, and continually poured out good, as also of blameless Esther, partaker of our kingdom with the whole nation. With the whole nation of Israel, because Haman tried to destroy Israel because of what happened with his father. See, if Saul would have carried out the plan, this wicked joker here wouldn't have even been living. But because he was self-willed and being rebellious, that's why this clown always almost killed all of our whole nation. Because he didn't carry out orders. Go ahead. Verse 14. For by these means he thought, finding as destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians. That's what he was doing. He translated from what? The Persians to the Macedonians. So now he's a Macedonian now. This still ends up happening. Right. We'll get there.
Yeah, we get there. Go ahead. Now I want First Maccabees 1:1. Then I want you to go into the book.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And it happened.
And it happened. See, now it happened. Right? Go ahead.
After Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
Oh, didn't we just hear that again? The Macedonian. Go ahead.
Who came out of the land of Chittim and smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
The first over Greece. So now what's happening, Alexander, remember Haman translated the kingdom from the Persians to the Macedonians. So all of a sudden, Alexander pop up on the scene and do the same thing. And take the stronghold and take Greece. So now he's known as a Greek now. You see how this man works? That's what he does. Go to the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. So I can prove my point.
You know, I'll read verse 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're going on with what you brought out in Genesis.
Go ahead.
And made many wars,
and
won many strongholds, slew kings of the earth. Verse 3, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him.
You see what the Bible said? The earth was quiet before him because this man was a warlord. This man was a warlord. When this man came on the scene, death and destruction came. It said the earth was quiet before him. What this also proves, brothers and sisters, is the Greeks did not start civilization. They loved to lie in history. It showed you before him, there was the Persians and the Medes. Oh, that's history. Let's go to some history, brother.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look in history at people called the Franks.
After you go to that.
Everybody knows about the Franks.
Right.
You eat them on holidays.
Frankfurters.
Go barbecue, get you some Franks. But we're going to show you who these people are called the Franks. So the first media resource we have is the Encyclopedia Dictionary of Religion. And we're going to go to the definition of Franks.
If you don't use my mic, because you have to keep on holding it.
Try that one.
Yeah, try this one.
Shalom.
Yeah, try this one. This one better.
So, all right, so the definition of Franks, it says Franks, literally, freemen, the West German tribes that gave Gaul its modern name, France. The federation is first attested in AD 241, so this is 241 years after Christ, is when this name pops on the scene. It included the Bructeri, Kamavi, Tincteri, Amsivari, Sicambri, and others. By 258 AD, the Franks had spread from Germany into what is now Belgium. Probus took many of them into the Roman army and auxiliaries and persuaded others to settle on abandoned farmlands in the provinces. Childeric, their king, in 475, established a Frankish kingdom in Gaul, which his son Clovis, keep that name in mind, his son Clovis strengthened by unifying the Franks of the Lower Rhine, these Salanes, other Franks who had made their homes along the Rhine near Cologne. The riverbank Franks came into this ambit when they destroyed their dynasty and confounded the Moravian state. The conversion of Clovis and his people to Catholic Christianity. Most Germanic rulers embraced the Arian creed. So they embraced the Arian creed. Everybody knows the Aryans are so-called, they're white people.
Right.
They call themselves Aryans.
Yep.
So the Franks they would be modern day Germany and French. That's where the Frankish kingdom began at right there. So, and another important thing is they converted to Christianity. All right, so that's it for this source. Now,
it also shows you too, y'all, they convert to Christianity. It's a religion. It's a man-made doctrine. So it's showing you, it's giving you the history, okay, of these people. It's showing you something. They call themselves the Franks, right? The Franks. Let's go to it.
The Franks. So this is an ecclesiastical history. This is the history of Christianity from the time Christ walked on the earth until the 1800s. Now, this is a primary source. That right there was a dictionary, but this, what we want to show is that all these things, all these books are saying the same thing. This is under prosperous events in the book Ecclesiastical History, and it's on page 109 and paragraph 5. It says, it was the same principle as well as the same views that engaged Clovis, king of the Salians. It says Salians, a nation of the Franks, to embrace Christianity. The prince whose signal valor was accompanied with barbarity, arrogance, and injustice, founded the kingdom of the Franks in Gaul, and having made himself master of a great part of that country, and mediated with remarkable eagerness and avidity the conquest of the whole. His conversion to the Christian religion is dated from the battle he fought with the Edomites in 496 at a village called Tobuscus, in which the Franks began to give ground. So this is saying the same thing that the dictionary said.
And it also showed his bloodshed again. He's at war again. There you go again.
All right, I drop down to the end of this section 5. It says the conversion of Clovis is looked upon by the learned as the origin of the titles of most Christian kings, and eldest son of the church, which have been for so long attributed to the kings of France. For if we accept this prince, all the kings of those barbarous nations who seized the Roman provinces were either yet involved in the darkness of paganism or affected with Arian heresy. The same thing like the dictionary was saying. But the Arians joined with these Franks. Now, just going to talk about them again. All right, this is the 6th century in ecclesiastical history, and it's page 131. In the western, this is under section 2. In the western parts, Remigius or Remy, bishop of Rheims. The Rheims is a river that runs through France, and it divided the east from the west. It says, in the western parts, Remigius or Remy, bishop of Rheims, who is commonly called the apostle of the Gauls, signalized his zeal in the conversion of those who still adhered to the ancient superstition, and his success was considerable, particularly after the auspicious period when Clovis, king of the Franks, embraced the gospel. So this book is telling you that the Franks converted to Christianity. Now, this book is called Jerusalem, and it's by Simon Sebag.
See, one thing about it, you have to look at it for what's happening. It's history. That's been showing you how this man was converted into these religions. It just shows you something. But go ahead, though. Finish up on that one.
So everybody knows or should know about the Crusades, which is when the Christian nations fought against the Arabs for the land of Israel. There were 4 crusades under different kings, but it was all the Christian kingdoms, your European nations versus the Arabs. So this is about the Crusades. And I'm going to start at page 221, right at the bottom. So in here, the Christians, the Crusaders are called the Franks.
Uh-oh.
It says, in the fray, the Jerusalemites slammed shut the gates of the Temple Mount and fought back. But the Tancred warriors smashed their way onto the sacred esplanade, crowded with desperate people. The fighting raged there for hours. The Franks went berserk and killed anyone they encountered in the streets and alleyways. They cut off not only heads, but hands and feet, glorifying and spurting fountains of cleansing infidel blood. Although carrying out a massacre in a storm city was not unprecedented, the sanctimonious pride with which the perpetrators recorded it probably was. It says, our men cut off the heads of their enemies. Others shot them with arrows so that they fell from the towers. Others tortured them longer by casting them into flames. Piles of heads, hands, and feet were to be seen on the streets. It was necessary to pick one's way over the bodies of men and horses. Babies were seized from their mothers, their heads dashed against the walls. As the barbarity escalated, Saracens, Arabs, and Ethiopians, meaning the black Sudanese troops of the Fatimid army, took refuge on the roofs of the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa. But as they fought their way towards the dome, the knights, keep that in mind, the knights hacked a path across the crowded esplanade, killing and dicing through human flesh until in the Temple of Solomon, as the Crusaders called Al-Aqsa, they rode in blood up to their bridles. Indeed, it was a just and splendid judgment of God that this place should be filled with the blood of unbelievers. So, we wanted to show that the Franks, the Crusaders, the Knights, they're all one and the same. But doing this, you just see the barbarity of these people. They live by the sword. It doesn't matter where they go. They do the same thing. They live by the sword. Another thing they do use too is policies.
Yep.
Once they destroy you with the sword, then they go with the policies. That's all I want to pull out of this book. There's some other stuff, but that's all I want to pull out of here. And we're going to go to the itinerary of Benjamin of Tudela. If you want to say something, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, go to the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11, because he brought a great point, showing you the history of the Franks and the Crusades and how they have that same mentality today. That was a holy war to them. So the same thing. So what's the difference with what the Arabs are doing? It's the same. You're doing the same thing we're doing thousands of years ago. It's just under different names. So that's what he's showing you, the history of these people. They still got the same mentality today. They're going to kill you, cut you up, make a mockery of you. They were doing that. They still, let me tell y'all something. Y'all think that's something that's new? No, it's been going on. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11, brother.
The book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 11.
Go ahead.
Their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever.
That's the pride. They think that their kingdom will last forever. They believe that. They believe that their kingdom is going to last forever. No kingdom stood the test of time. No kingdom. Go ahead.
And their dwelling places to all generations.
To all generations. So for one generation, from the time of the Franks, all the way up until now. From one generation, all the way up until now. Go ahead.
They call the lands after their own name.
Don't they do that today? They call the name. We just found out with the Franks.
And don't forget the Macedonians.
The Macedonians. So they call the lands after what?
Their own name.
After their own name. So it's showing you that's the mentality that this man has. He's still doing it today. America, named after a so-called white man. America Vespucci. We're not making this up. If you don't believe us, do your research. Okay, go ahead with the other scholarship, brother.
So this is the itinerary of Benjamin of Tudela. And I took a screenshot. I took a picture of these books and I posted them right before class. So we're going to start with showing how the Franks among other European nations are called the Crusaders, and they're called Christian nations. So in the book, The Itinerary of Benjamin of Tudela, page 78, we're going to read the entire first paragraph. And it starts with this: Alexandria, which is Egypt. Alexandria is a commercial market for all nations. Merchants come thither from all the Christian kingdoms. On the one side, from the land of Venetia and Lombardy, Tuscany, Apulia, Amalfi, Sicilia, Calabria, Ramonia. And this stuff is a little different. They call the names a little different from what they do now. Yeah. So Ramonga, Khazaria, Pazanakia.
Khazaria, the Khazars. That's the Khazari. When you think about the Khazars converted to what you know as Judaism in 741 AD. If y'all know anything about that, you about that history, it's still dealing with Esau, the so-called Jews. So it's still dealing with the Khazars. Yeah. Okay?
They're the fake Jews.
Exactly.
This book was written in the 1100s. He's calling them a Christian nation.
Right.
They're converts.
They're converts. The same way the so-called Jews over there are converts. Same thing. Keep going.
It says, merchants come thither from all the Christian kingdoms. And they're named in here as a Christian kingdom. Pazanakia, Hungary, Bulgaria, Rakuvia, Croatia, Slavonia, Russia, Alemannia, in this parenthesis, Germany, Saxony, Denmark, Curland, Ireland, Norway, Frisia, Scotia, Anglia, Wales, Flanders, Connaught, Normandy, France, Poitiers, Anjou, Burgundy, Marianne, Provence, Genoa, Pisa, Gascony, Aragon, and Navarra. And towards the west, so that's all of the Christian nations right there. And towards the west, under the sway of the Mohammedans, Andalusia, Algarve, Africa, and the land of the Arabs. On the other side, India, Zoalia, Abyssinia, know what that is, Libya, Yemen, Shinar, Sham, in parentheses, Syria. Also Javan, whose people are called the Greeks and the Turks. And here's the point. And merchants of India bring thither all kinds of spices. And the and the merchants of Edom buy them. The merchants of Edom buy them. So these Christian nations, he knows that they're Edomites. And that's even in history, that they were trading with the Indians, getting their spices. All your European nations.
Also, you notice some of the names he named is part of the 10 horns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just like leadership say all the time, man. Christianity is a mindset.
Is what you call the European Union too. A lot of that stuff, it was all set up even back then. That's why it's imperative, brothers and sisters, that we get into history, because then you understand the major players today. So that's why when they hide behind stuff, you don't know who the major players are. So you will never know what's going on if you don't do no research. If you don't pick up a book and read, that's why you can always be lost. Because you cannot line things up, but trust and believe, we're gonna line stuff up. Was that it, brother?
Well, just that page.
Okay.
We got more. He's calling all those European nations, he's calling them Christians and the merchants of Edom.
Is that because we don't? Well, if you're done with that, we can always finish up.
No, I got
Okay, go ahead.
So page 40. 300 knights are quartered. This is the bottom of the page on page 40. 300 knights, again, knights, are quartered there and issued therefrom every day for military exercise. Besides those who come from the land of the Franks and the other parts of Christendom, have taken upon themselves to serve there a year or two until their vow is fulfilled. In Jerusalem is the great church called the Sepulchre, and here is the burial place of Jesus, unto which the Christians make pilgrimages. So again, the Franks and the Christians, synonymous. And here's that word again, the knights. That's the second time. The knights are associated with the Franks. Yeah, so I only got two more. I got this page and another one.
Okay.
So now to page 15 and the second paragraph. Says in 1187, he felt himself in a position to engage the Franks in a decisive conflict. This is talking about the Crusades. I believe this is the second. Yeah, this is the second crusade where you have Guy, the King Guy, fighting against Saladin. So in 1187, he felt himself in a position to engage the Franks in a decisive conflict. So the Crusaders, they're the Franks. They're the Christians. All the Christians banded together and sent people to take back Jerusalem. At the Battle of Tiberias, Guy, the Latin king. Who are the Latins?
Romans.
Exactly.
The
Romans.
The Romans.
All of these people are together. They're the nations of Christendom. So the Latin king was defeated and taken prisoner. The Knights Templars
There we go.
and Hospitallers, of whose doings at Jerusalem Benjamin gives us particulars, either shared the fate of the king or were slain in action. Jerusalem fell soon afterwards. Pope Alexander III roused the conscience of Europe and induced the pick of chivalry to embark upon the Third Crusade in 1189. So we went through all of this to show that the Franks, the Latins, the Christians, whatever you want to call them, they're all the same people. He called them the nations, the merchants of Edom. So, got one left, and that's the sledgehammer.
Okay.
On page 36, second paragraph, it's in the middle of the paragraph. And he says, Benjamin says, he saw this himself. It's a firsthand, primary source account. He says, they are faithful to each other and a source of terror to their neighbors, killing even kings at the cost of their own lives. The extent of their land is 8 days' journey, and they are at war with the sons of Edom, who are called the Franks.
There you have it, brothers and sisters. You see how this man hides behind different names, the Franks. He calls himself the Russians. You're dealing with Belgium, Denmark, France. See, he's still the same nation. But that's what happens. That's what they'll never understand. We got something else?
No, I just want to say this is a primary account.
Right.
He saw this himself.
Right. So it's showing you that Esau is the so-called white man. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but you know what? History, it proves the point. You fought this man through crusades. What I just tell y'all? You fought him through wars, and you fought this man through lineage. Let's go to Malachi. Let's go to Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1. Let's hear how the Most High feels about Esau.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 1.
And what he calls him.
The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel, Malachi. Verse 2. I have loved you, said the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
Was not Esau Jacob's brother? He said, was not Esau Jacob's brother? Go ahead.
Said the Lord. Yet I love Jacob.
I love Jacob. He still loves Jacob. Because the 12 tribes of Israel are the sons of Jacob. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And I hated Esau.
He what?
And I hated Esau.
He hated Esau. There's a reason why he hated Esau, though. Go ahead.
And laid his mountains and his heritage waste.
Didn't he do that? He laid his mountains, governments waste. Because what happened in 193 AD, Septimius Severus came in and struck down Rome. They won't tell you how Rome fell, will they? Go ahead.
Yeah, another thing, their original land was Mount Seir.
Exactly.
And they're not there anymore.
Exactly. Mount Seir is desolate.
Right.
Like the Most High promised. We'll keep on reading. He promised it.
People go there and visit.
Right.
You don't visit those caves in the rock.
Right. That's his original land.
That's his heritage.
That's his heritage. Why? Keep reading. You can find out.
And I hated Esau. And laid his mountains and his heritage waste.
Then we just talk about he just laid his government and his mount. He laid it waste. So nothing grows there. That thing is desolate. Okay? Mount Seir is desolate. Big time. That was his heritage.
Right. It didn't used to be, because if you look at pictures or any videos, you can see that there was a river ran right through there.
Right. Go ahead.
For the dragons of the wilderness.
Oh, so who? The dragons. The dragons of the wilderness, right? Go ahead.
Verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished.
Yes, because at one time in the Dark Ages, he was impoverished. He said it. I am impoverished. Go ahead.
But we will return.
Oh, now he's saying he's going to rise, because he did rise under Spain. He came as Rome in the 1400s. He rose up again. Go ahead.
And build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts.
Go ahead.
They shall build.
What the Lord said?
They shall build. But I will throw down.
That's how you know the Most High is He's going to throw down. They're going to build, but he's going to throw down. Yeah, you're going to build up? Yeah, build it up. But guess what's going to happen, though? The Most High going to destroy that.
You see that in the Midwest every year, too.
Right.
When the storms come through and just tear up cities,
right?
They build it right back up. It's just like, okay,
I'm gonna tear it down again.
Hey,
keep on,
You notice that Jake explaining this too, because whenever Jake see a fight, he be like, "Boy, they was in there throwing down."
Throwing down. Right, right. He said, "I'm gonna throw it down." Go ahead.
Excuse me. He said, "We will return and build the desolate places." Thus said the Lord of hosts.
Go ahead.
They shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them
the what?
The border of wickedness.
The Most High, why he called you? We just read about some wickedness this man been doing. He's still doing it today. The Most High God calls him the border of wickedness. You think it's changed? No, it hasn't changed. Okay? Yes, he has a war machine. This man brings death and destruction. See, that's what y'all don't understand. That's how you trace this man. We ain't making this up. Everything we pulling historical facts. And if y'all have a problem with it, challenge us. We're open for a challenge. We have a problem with that. And I'm not speaking with pride. I'm just simply saying we know what we're talking about. That's confidence. We're showing you this is what it is. And if you don't like it, guess who you really mad at? The Most High. Keep reading, brother.
As the Bible says, it said Christ is one teaches with authority.
Exactly.
He teaches with opinions and perhaps.
Right. Finish up on that.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness. And the people.
Stop. The who?
The people.
Say it again.
The people.
Not just the man, the people. His seed, the people. Go ahead.
Against whom the Lord have indignation.
How long?
Forever.
Case closed.
Let's say it again.
Say it one more time so you can understand it.
And the people against whom the Lord have indignation.
How long?
Forever.
Forever.
Ever.
So guess what? That's what the Lord says.
Yeah, the Lord said, I changed not.
I changed not. In the same book. Okay. So the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 29. That concludes today's class, brothers and sisters.
The book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse 29.
Go ahead, brother.
Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said,
Go ahead.
We ought to obey God rather than man.
We ought to obey God rather than men. That's what we're going to obey, brothers and sisters. So that's what we're trying to tell y'all. We'll get the Most High Christ all the praise and glory for allowing us to even use material to be able to teach His word in spirit and in truth, to bring His truth to our brothers and sisters. Okay. Was everyone clear in today's class? Anyone have any questions pertaining to today's class? Everyone good? Huh? You?
Shalom.
Yes.
Can I get the scripture right after Genesis 36 and 12?
The scripture after Genesis 36 and 12? Okay, let me see. No. I went to 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1 and 2, and then 20. Okay? You got that?
Okay, I got it.
Oh, no problem, brother. Because that right there, when you go to 1 Samuel, that shows you that the Amalekites and Ahab, that's who is talking about when you go to Esther, to prove that he is the son of the Edomites. So you have to go through that lens to prove that point, okay? You good?
Good, thank you, bro.
No problem.
All right,
Anytime.
Marion.
All right, brother. Everybody else good? Everyone else good? Okay. All right, brothers and sisters, we want to say shalom. Most High Christ bless everybody. Y'all stay strong, okay? Stay in prayer. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep this truth pushing. Can't nobody stop the movement, y'all. Let's keep it pushing, y'all. We got to keep pushing truth. That's what we have to keep on pushing. It's a bunch of lies. It's a million lies for one truth. And no one can stand before it. Okay, we want to say shalom, Most High Christ bless. Y'all stay strong.
Shalom, Most High Christ.
Shalom.
Hold on.